Dame Lillard and Giannis's friendship was a huge part of the Bucks' chemistry, but this resurfaced footage of them getting into it is telling a very different story.
Everybody trying to keep everyone away.
So, did the superstar duo really fall apart? And could this feud have played a role in Damian's shocking last-minute trade? I got all the details. Let's get into it. The explosive confrontation that shattered Milwaukee's dreams. This heated exchange between Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo is going viral, and to many, it marks the boiling point of months of growing frustration, internal dysfunction, and the dramatic collapse of Milwaukee's championship hopes.
Everybody trying to keep everyone away.
To truly comprehend the magnitude of what we're seeing in this footage, we need to understand the astronomical expectations that surrounded this partnership from day one. Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo were teammates on the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 seasons, 2023 to 2025, following Lillard's blockbuster trade from the Portland Trail Blazers in September 2023.
This is the best team I've ever been a part of. Having a guy like him all-time great. We understand that in order for us to be successful, we have to work extremely hard, and I think we're both willing to do that.
This wasn't just any ordinary trade. This was supposed to create an unstoppable championship machine that would dominate the league for years to come, fundamentally altering the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. The partnership carried expectations that were nothing short of extraordinary, with both players and the organization believing they had assembled the perfect combination of talent to capture multiple championships. You had Lillard, an absolute scoring phenomenon who was averaging 24.6 points, 7.0 assists, and 4.6 rebounds across 131 games with the Bucks, paired alongside Antetokounmpo, a 2-time MVP and 2021 NBA champion whose dominance in the paint and versatility as a point forward was virtually unmatched throughout the league. On paper, this looked like the perfect recipe for multiple championships and sustained NBA supremacy. But what the cameras captured behind closed doors tells a completely different, absolutely devastating story that has shocked even the most seasoned NBA insiders. The tension between these two superstars had been building for months, and the warning signs were everywhere for those paying close attention to the subtle dynamics within the Milwaukee locker room. Their on-court chemistry produced memorable moments, such as a viral alley-oop in a 120-113 win over the Miami Heat on February 23, 2025, where Lillard's 28 points and 8 assists complemented Antetokounmpo's 23 points and 16 rebounds.
Officials have their earpieces in. Dame, the connection! Unreal between Dame and Giannis!
Well, don't you just love that it was like, we don't know whose ball it is.
But for every highlight reel moment of pure basketball brilliance that had fans dreaming of championship glory, there were underlying currents of frustration, miscommunication, and competing priorities, slowly destroying the foundation of their partnership. Behind the smiles at press conferences and the sound bites about trust and chemistry, insiders began whispering about something far more fragile, a partnership that never fully clicked outside the lines. While Giannis and Dame were never openly hostile, multiple reports pointed to a lack of genuine off-court connection, an intangible bond that often separates good teams from legendary dynasties. Lillard, who had spent over a decade in Portland as the face of the franchise, was adjusting not just to a new system, but a new hierarchy, one where he wasn't the guy. And for Giannis, known for his intense loyalty and quiet dominance, Lillard's arrival may have felt more like a strategic move than a natural fit. Even in post-game interviews, their energy often felt mismatched, Giannis emphasizing team effort, while Dame zeroed in on rhythm and execution. It wasn't toxic, but it wasn't synced. There were no public fallouts, but there was also no visible brotherhood. And when the season got tough, when injuries piled up, the team chemistry dipped, and the pressure mounted, there was no off-court bond strong enough to hold it all together. No united front, no shared fire to push through the adversity. That disconnect bled into their stats. Despite both being high IQ players, their synergy was underwhelming. Lillard averaged 7.0 assists per game, but only 1.3 of those went to Giannis. Giannis returned the favor even less, just 0.9 assists per game to Dame, and while their net rating together was a decent plus 2.1 during the regular season, it plummeted to minus 4.3 in the playoffs, where chemistry matters most. The pressure only intensified with injuries. Lillard missed 17 of the last 21 games due to Achilles soreness, while Giannis dealt with a calf strain that sidelined him for the final 3 games of their 2025 playoff run. Without consistency, their rhythm suffered, and so did their trust in each other. Even ESPN analysts picked up on it. This disconnect, subtle as it seemed at first, became glaring when the team needed unity the most. And it's why that viral clip of their confrontation isn't just a heated moment. It's a symbol of what happens when two great players don't build the relationship needed to become a great duo. This heated confrontation occurred during a period when the Bucks were desperately trying to salvage their championship hopes, but the partnership faced challenges, including injuries and playoff disappointments. The pressure cooker environment that had been building throughout the season, with mounting expectations from fans, media, and the organization itself, finally reached its absolute breaking point in spectacular fashion. The Bucks were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in both 2024 and 2025, with Lillard's Achilles injury in April 2025 against the Indiana Pacers significantly impacting their postseason run.
He's putting no pressure on that foot, so not a good sign here from Milwaukee and Damian Lillard, who has struggled with injuries, particularly as of late, having sat out the last 14 games of the regular season.
These weren't just statistical failures or disappointing seasons. They were crushing emotional defeats that left both superstars questioning everything about their partnership, their commitment to Milwaukee, and their ability to achieve the championship dreams that had brought them together. The most heartbreaking aspect of what we're witnessing is how two players who genuinely seemed to respect and admire each other, who had invested significant time and energy into building their partnership, ultimately found themselves in this position of heated confrontation. Early in their partnership, Lillard worked out at Antetokounmpo's house, watching film and building chemistry, which makes this footage even more devastating to watch for fans who had witnessed their early camaraderie and believed in the potential of their partnership.
I'll take free shoes. Free shoes is free shoes, my brother. Hey, man, I don't care, man. Oh, free shoes. Hey, free shoes is free shoes.
These weren't just teammates who never clicked or had fundamental personality conflicts. These were two superstars who had invested significant time and energy into making their partnership work, studying film together, developing on-court chemistry, and genuinely believing they could achieve championship success together, only to see it all unravel in the most dramatic and explosive fashion possible. The heated footage that has taken the NBA world by storm becomes exponentially more devastating when you understand the complete betrayal that was orchestrated behind the scenes in Milwaukee, revealing a level of organizational callousness that has shocked even the most cynical NBA observers. The devastating betrayal that destroyed everything.
Well, we have some breaking news from Sean Sharania that is very interesting, which is the Milwaukee Bucks have signed Miles Turner, which is a true stunner of a move on a variety of levels.
The shocking reality of what transpired in Milwaukee during the summer of 2025 reads like something straight out of a Hollywood betrayal thriller, except this was real life playing out in the most brutal fashion possible, with real careers, real relationships, and real championship dreams being destroyed in the process. In a shocking move, the Milwaukee Bucks waived Lillard in July 2025 to clear cap space for signing former Indiana Pacers center Miles Turner to a 4-year, $107 million deal. But the truly devastating part wasn't just the waiver itself, it was how the entire situation was orchestrated and executed without any regard for Lillard's feelings, his commitment to the franchise, or the sacrifices he had made to embrace his role in Milwaukee. The financial implications of this move were absolutely staggering and demonstrated just how desperate the Bucks organization had become to appease their remaining superstar, regardless of the human cost or long-term consequences. This decision involved stretching Lillard's remaining $112 million contract over 5 years, resulting in a $22.5 million annual cap hit through the 2029-30 season.
The Bucks just set sort of a new standard in desperation in what it's looked like to keep their star.
To put this in perspective, the Bucks were willing to handicap their salary cap for the next half-decade, creating massive financial constraints that would limit their roster-building flexibility for years to come, just to get rid of a player who had given everything to make their championship dream a reality. What makes this betrayal even more heartbreaking is the personal sacrifice that Lillard had made to join Milwaukee in the first place, abandoning his preferred destination and embracing a role that required significant personal and professional adjustments. Lillard, who was expected to miss most or all of the 2025-26 season due to his Achilles injury, returned to the Portland Trail Blazers on a 3-year, $42 million contract. But the journey to get to that point was filled with personal turmoil, organizational betrayal, and emotional devastation that goes far deeper than most fans realize or the media has been willing to fully explore. The heated footage that has now gone viral captures the exact moment when Lillard began to understand the true nature of the situation he was facing in Milwaukee, realizing that his loyalty and commitment meant absolutely nothing to an organization that was willing to discard him like a disposable asset. This wasn't just about basketball performance, roster construction, or salary cap management. This was about an organization that was willing to discard a loyal player who had embraced his role despite facing significant personal challenges, devastating injuries, and enormous pressure throughout his tenure with the team. The most devastating aspect of this entire saga is how Lillard reportedly felt betrayed by the Bucks' decision, especially after embracing his role in Milwaukee despite initially preferring a trade to the Miami Heat in 2023. Think about the incredible emotional journey that Lillard went through during this period. He had originally wanted to go to Miami, where he believed he would have a better chance at championship success and personal happiness, but he embraced the opportunity to play alongside Giannis and gave absolutely everything he had to make the partnership work, sacrificing his personal preferences for what he believed was a greater championship vision. To have the organization turn around and discard him so callously, without any consideration for his sacrifices or commitment, represents one of the most brutal betrayals in recent NBA history, exposing the ugly reality of how organizations treat players when business considerations override basic human decency and loyalty.
This is not just a move about Dame and the Bucks. This is a move about keeping Giannis.
The personal toll that this betrayal took on Lillard becomes even more apparent and heartbreaking when you understand the additional layers of disrespect and callousness that he endured during this devastating period. His agent, Aaron Goodwin, revealed that the Bucks denied Lillard's request to rehab his Achilles injury in Portland with his family, adding to the tension. This wasn't just about business decisions, roster management, or salary cap considerations. This was about basic human decency and showing fundamental respect for a player who had suffered a devastating, potentially career-altering injury while wearing their uniform and fighting for their championship dreams. The heated exchange captured in this viral footage takes on an entirely different meaning and level of emotional intensity when you understand that Giannis Antetokounmpo was not completely innocent in this betrayal, creating a complex web of loyalty, frustration, and competing priorities that ultimately destroyed their partnership. NBA insider Chris Haynes noted that Antetokounmpo, a loyalist at heart, felt uneasy about abandoning Lillard after their brief but high-profile partnership, but the damage had already been done, and the footage shows the moment when their relationship began to fracture under the immense weight of organizational dysfunction and mismanaged expectations. What makes this situation even more complex and emotionally charged is how Antetokounmpo's response to Lillard's waiver was mixed. Reports indicate he was not pleased with the decision, particularly with how it was handled, though he was informed about the pursuit of Turner and was excited about the potential fit. The heated footage captures the tension between these two competing emotions. Giannis's genuine loyalty to his teammate and friend versus his overwhelming desire to win a championship with the best possible roster construction, creating an impossible situation that ultimately destroyed their relationship. The viral nature of this footage has exposed the ugly reality of how NBA organizations operate when they're desperate to maximize their championship window, revealing a level of callousness and disregard for player relationships that has shocked even seasoned NBA observers. A report by ESPN's Ramona Shelburne clarified that Antetokounmpo was aware of the Turner deal, but may not have known it required waiving Lillard. This lack of clarity, transparency, and honest communication created the perfect storm for the heated confrontation that we're now seeing play out in viral fashion across social media platforms. The emotional devastation that Lillard experienced during this period cannot be overstated, representing a level of betrayal and hurt that goes far beyond typical NBA business decisions or roster moves. Lillard's viral reaction came in response to learning that Antetokounmpo knew about the Turner deal, which he perceived as a personal slight after their efforts to succeed together. The footage captures the raw emotion of a player who felt completely betrayed, not just by the organization that had promised him championship contention, but by a teammate he had grown to trust, respect, and genuinely care about on a personal level. What's particularly heartbreaking about this entire situation is how it played out against the backdrop of Lillard's devastating injury, adding insult to injury in the most literal sense possible. To suffer such a significant, potentially career-altering injury while fighting desperately for a championship, only to be discarded by the organization in such a callous manner, represents a level of betrayal that goes far beyond typical business decisions and exposes the ugly reality of how NBA organizations treat players when their championship windows are closing. The explosive fallout that rocked the NBA. What we're witnessing in this explosive exchange is not just the end of a partnership, it's the beginning of a massive domino effect that has fundamentally altered the trajectory of multiple franchises and left one of the league's biggest superstars questioning everything about his future, his loyalty, and his championship aspirations. The immediate aftermath of this heated confrontation created a media frenzy that dominated NBA headlines for weeks and continues to influence storylines, trade rumors, and championship conversations throughout the league in ways that few single incidents have ever achieved. The most stunning aspect of the fallout wasn't just the emotional impact on the players directly involved, it was how this viral footage exposed the underlying dysfunction within an organization that was supposed to be championship caliber, but instead revealed itself to be completely mismanaged at the highest levels, creating a cautionary tale for franchises throughout the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo's reaction to the entire situation became a storyline in itself that has captivated NBA fans and analysts alike, and the heated footage provides crucial context for understanding his emotional state during this tumultuous period of uncertainty and frustration. Antetokounmpo's frustration with the Bucks' playoff struggles, only 11 playoff wins since their 2021 championship, and Lillard's injury has led to trade rumors. The viral confrontation that we're seeing represents the moment when years of playoff disappointments, organizational failures, and mounting championship pressure finally reached their absolute breaking point, creating a perfect storm of frustration and disillusionment. The most shocking development in the aftermath of this heated exchange was how it influenced the broader narrative around Antetokounmpo's future with the Milwaukee Bucks, creating speculation and trade rumors that have dominated NBA discourse for months. Reports from May 2025 indicated he was open-minded about exploring other teams, with potential destinations including the Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors, and Brooklyn Nets. The footage provides an unprecedented window into the psychological state of a superstar who was beginning to question whether his unwavering loyalty to Milwaukee was being reciprocated by an organization that seemed more focused on short-term roster moves than building sustainable championship contention. What makes this situation even more explosive and fascinating from a league-wide perspective is how the heated confrontation exposed the complete breakdown of communication within the Bucks organization, revealing systemic problems that went far beyond individual player relationships. The fact that such a dramatic exchange could take place between their two biggest stars without any apparent intervention from management speaks to a level of organizational dysfunction that goes far deeper than most fans realize, creating questions about leadership, accountability, and championship culture that extend throughout the entire franchise. This wasn't just a case of two players having a disagreement or letting emotions get the better of them. This was concrete evidence of systemic problems that were undermining the entire franchise, from front office decision-making to coaching staff management to player development and relationship building. The financial implications of the decisions that led to this heated confrontation have created long-term consequences that will haunt the Bucks for years to come, fundamentally altering their ability to compete at the highest level. The Bucks' decision to waive Lillard was part of a broader strategy to retool around Antetokounmpo, who is under contract through 2027 with a player option for 2027 to 2028. But the viral footage reveals just how much irreparable damage was done to the relationship between these two superstars. Damage that cannot be easily repaired regardless of roster construction, salary cap management, or championship promises from the organization. The heated exchange also highlighted the impossible position that Antetokounmpo found himself in as the face of the franchise, caught between his loyalty to teammates and his overwhelming desire to win championships before his prime years slip away. His appearance at Google I/O 2025 in San Francisco further sparked speculation about a move to the Warriors. The impact of this viral confrontation extended far beyond just the Milwaukee Bucks organization, sparking intense debates across social media platforms, NBA analysis shows, and sports talk radio about loyalty, championship expectations, organizational management, and the brutal business side of professional basketball. Fans and analysts alike were forced to grapple with the uncomfortable reality that even the most promising partnerships can be destroyed by organizational mismanagement, competing priorities, and the immense pressure that comes with championship expectations in today's NBA landscape. One of the most significant aspects of the fallout from this heated exchange was how it affected the broader NBA trade market and free agency landscape, influencing decisions and strategies throughout the entire league. The Bucks owe $153.5 million in 2025 to 26 to Antetokounmpo, $54.1 million. Lillard's dead money, $22.5 million. Kuzma, $22.4 million, and others, with no first-round picks until 2031. The viral footage provided crucial crucial context for understanding why the Bucks were in such a desperate financial position and how their attempts to solve these problems created even more chaos, dysfunction, and long-term competitive disadvantages. The heated confrontation also exposed the human cost of the NBA's business-first mentality, revealing the emotional toll that championship pressure and organizational dysfunction can take on even the most elite athletes. Watching two players who had genuinely invested in their partnership, who had spent countless hours working together and believing in their shared championship vision, reach such a point of explosive conflict serves as a stark reminder that behind all the statistics, salary cap discussions, and championship narratives are real people dealing with real emotion, genuine hurt feelings, and the crushing weight of unfulfilled expectations. The viral nature of this footage has given fans an unprecedented look at the psychological toll that championship expectations can take on even the most elite performers, revealing vulnerabilities and frustrations that are rarely seen in the carefully managed world of professional sports media coverage. The long-term implications of this heated exchange continue to reverberate throughout the NBA landscape, influencing trade discussions, free agency decisions, and championship predictions across the entire league. Teams like the Rockets offering Amen Thompson and picks, Nets for 2025 firsts, and Warriors pairing Giannis with Stephen Curry are viable suitors if he pushes for a move. The footage provides crucial insight into Antetokounmpo's mindset during this period and helps explain why he might be genuinely open to exploring other options after years of unwavering loyalty to Milwaukee, despite the personal and professional costs of leaving. Perhaps the most devastating aspect of this entire situation is how it represents a complete waste of championship potential that may never be recovered. The heated footage captures the moment when what should have been one of the most dominant partnerships in NBA history finally collapsed under the weight of organizational dysfunction, mismanaged expectations, and competing priorities that ultimately proved impossible to reconcile. The explosive nature of their confrontation serves as a cautionary tale about how quickly championship windows can close when organizations fail to prioritize the relationships, communication, and cultural elements that matter most for sustained success, providing lessons that extend far beyond the Milwaukee Bucks organization. And with that, we've come to the end of this deep dive. For more juicy content like this, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and check out the cards showing on your screen for more videos. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below.